Ever feel like someone dumped a whole truckload of life hacks on you and then just yelled, "Good luck"? Especially when it comes to like building healthier habits.
Yeah, it can feel like you need a whole lifestyle makeover.
Totally. But today we're diving deep into that feeling.
We're all about finding those small changes, the ones that actually make a big difference over time.
Exactly. No crazy overnight transformations here. So, ready to ditch the all-or-nothing approach.
It's amazing how these tiny, everyday things, the little choices we make, can really have a ripple effect on, well, everything. Our overall well-being.
Really? Everything?
Oh, yeah. We're not just talking like superficial stuff here. We're talking about changes at a fundamental level.
Okay, now I'm really interested. Tell me more.
Think. Your mood, your energy, even how your brain actually works.
Okay, color me intrigued. Tell me more about these brain changes. What's actually happening up there when we try to build new habits?
Okay, so imagine this. Every time you repeat an action. Yeah, it could be going for a run or like even just choosing to snack on some fruit instead of chips.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
So every time these specific neural pathways in your brain, they get activated.
So it's like our brains are learning a new dance routine, and like the more we practice, the smoother the moves become.
Exactly. With consistency, those pathways, they become so ingrained that the behavior, it just starts to feel, automatic.
Second nature. Like you don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's wild. But how long does this process usually take? Asking for a friend, of course, who may or may not have abandoned a New Year's resolution or two.
Well, everyone's different, right? But research suggests it can take anywhere from, say, a few weeks to a few months for a new habit to really solidify.
Okay, so no need to panic if I don't become a health guru overnight.
Exactly. Be patient with yourself, focus on just consistent effort, not instant results. It's a process.
So no need to beat myself up if I miss a day or two. Phew, that's a relief. But what's actually happening in our brains during those weeks or months? Are we just like willing ourselves to change?
It's way more complicated than just willpower, although that's definitely a part of it.
Okay, good to know. So what else is going on in our brain?
Well, one of the key players in all this is this part of the brain called the basal ganglia.
The what?
Basal ganglia, it plays a crucial role in like developing routines and making behaviors automatic.
Okay, so the basal ganglia is like the conductor of the habit orchestra.
Precisely. As you consistently repeat a behavior, the basal ganglia are like, okay, I'm noticing this. This seems important. Let's make this a thing. And then the neural connections that are related to that habit, they get stronger.
The more we repeat a healthy habit, the more our brains come to like expect and even crave that behavior. That's pretty powerful. It's like our brains are saying, hey, I'm digging this whole morning yoga thing. Let's make this a regular thing.
Exactly. And the more we reinforce those pathways, the more those habits really become like a part of us.
Okay, yeah.
But it's not just the basal ganglia. There's this other area called the prefrontal cortex, and it plays a key role in, decision-making and planning.
So the prefrontal cortex, it's like the strategic planner, right?
Yeah.
And the basal ganglia is more like the one actually putting those plans into action.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Initially, the prefrontal cortex is super involved, like when you're first consciously choosing that healthier option,
Yeah.
But then over time, as that habit starts to stick, the basal ganglia kind of take over, and it's like the behavior, it just requires less mental effort,
Yeah, it's like it frees up space to think about other stuff.
Exactly. This frees up all this like cognitive space for other tasks, and it makes you more efficient, less likely to feel overwhelmed.
That's awesome.
And here's where it gets really interesting.
Even more interesting.
Research suggests that when we cultivate healthy habits, we're not just changing our behaviors, we're actually changing our brains, like physically.
Wait, really? So like all this healthy habit talk is basically brain training in disguise.
Yeah, pretty much. Studies show that habit formation, it can actually lead to increased gray matter in the prefrontal cortex, and that's associated with, better self-control, willpower, all that good stuff.
Wow, so it's like the more we do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah, like a positive feedback loop. The more we engage in healthy habits, the stronger our willpower gets, which makes it, easier to stick with those habits.
I like it.
And it goes beyond just willpower, regular exercise, for example.
Yeah.
It increases the production of this protein, BDNF, and that helps brain cells grow.
So it's not just about like fitting into those skinny jeans, it's about nourishing our brains.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
And we can't forget about stress.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
When we do things like exercise, meditate, get enough sleep, our brains release these things called endorphins, and they're like natural mood boosters. They help reduce stress.
So it's like we're giving our brains a superpower boost, right?
Yeah.
Building up that resistance to stress while making it stronger and like sharper at the same time.
Exactly. And it goes way beyond just dealing with stress. Studies show all sorts of benefits,
Like what?
like better sleep. You know how important that is.
Oh, tell me about it.
And increased focus, even a lower risk of, those senior moments as we get older.
Okay, you've convinced me. Healthy habits for the win. But knowing all this is one thing. How do we actually make it happen? Because life, let's be real.
Oh, I hear you. It's definitely not always a walk in the park.
Exactly. Old habits, they're comfortable.
Right. But there are things we can do. One thing that really helps is this idea of habit stacking.
Habit stacking. Okay, that sounds kind of cool, actually. What is that?
It's really simple. You basically pair a new habit, something you want to do, with an old habit, something you already do without even thinking.
So, like, if I'm trying to work meditation into my morning, I could, I don't know, make it part of my coffee routine.
Exactly. Coffee, then meditate.
It's so smart.
You're basically using that old pathway to help the new one get established.
It's like sneaking it in there. That's brilliant. What else? What about those times when, I'm just not feeling it?
Yeah, motivation can be tough. Another really useful tool is something called implementation intentions.
Okay, that sounds serious. Like, I need a whiteboard and a plan of attack.
No, it's way simpler than it sounds. Basically, you plan exactly when, where, and how you'll do something.
So instead of, I should really work out more, it's more like, all right, Tuesday morning, I'm hitting the gym before work.
Exactly. No more fuzzy intentions. You've got a plan.
I like it. So really, it's all about setting ourselves up for success, right?
Absolutely. And don't forget to celebrate the small wins.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get so focused on the end goal that we forget to enjoy the journey.
100%. And building healthy habits, it really is a journey. And there will be bumps in the road. It's the consistent effort that really matters.
This has been amazing. Honestly, it's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. Just these small things, these little choices can have such a big impact. Like, we can literally change our own brains.
We really can. It's pretty amazing.
Well, that about wraps it up for today's deep dive. But hey, remember, that journey to a healthier, happier you, it all starts with one single step. What small change will you embrace today? Until next time, keep exploring and keep diving deep.